It's a little deceptive to think that there is a road to greatness. That's not to argue that individuals can't achieve greatness. It wasn't the intended meaning of the sentence. The idea is that there is only one route to greatness as opposed to several paths might be false. But there are many ways to become great, especially in basketball. There was no NBA player in Brandin Podziemski's family when he was born. It was not thought that this hooper was a prodigy. As a matter of fact, Podziemski didn't even start participating in the sport until the 8th grade. At that age, it takes something exceptional to catch a young man's interest. For a young guy, this is a highly formative time. What about basketball piques Brandon's interest? Lacking any special connections to the game, Brandon adopted a laborer's mindset. Even in high school, he was always one to take pleasure in his work ethic. As a sophomore, Podziemski attended St. John's Northwestern Academy, despite being very new to basketball. He gave the institution credit for assisting him in maturing and gaining life skills. Podziemski gained physical stature as well. He weighed around 160 pounds and stood 6'3" and he reported to St. John's Northwestern. He weighed 185 pounds and stood 6 foot tall and stood 6'4" as a junior. By the time Brandon was a senior, he weighed 198 pounds and stood 6'6". The top colleges in basketball expressed a great deal of interest in Podziemski due to his physical and skill development. Having won the titles of Gatorade Player of the Year and Mr. Basketball for the state of Wisconsin, teams were very interested in this extremely versatile guard prospect. He received relatively favorable grades from high school rating sources, ranging from 63rd to 107th. While some may not find his 79th place RSCI rating all that impressive, making such a list in any year is a great achievement. Tyrese Hunter of the Texas Longhorns and Patrick Baldwin Jr., a current Golden State Warrior, were teammates on Brandon's AAU squad and were also members of the 2021 class. It's also important to note that Podziemski was ranked higher than Terkaven Smith, KJ Simpson, Devin Carter, and current San Antonio Spur Jeremy Sochan. Brandon is aware of how different this lesson was from the others in the past. In the end, Coleman Hawkins and the since transferred Andre Curbelo recruited Brandon to play for Coach Brad Underwood at Illinois. Podziemski would gain a lot of insight from his first year, even though it wasn't the ideal season that many would wish for on their route to stardom. Following the conclusion of Illinois' season, Brandon would access the transfer site. A few players would transfer out for the Illini, but they would also try add 2 more seniors, Terrence Shannon Jr. and Matthew Mayer. Santa Clara searched for methods to include another gifted guard to take Jalen Williams' place because they knew he would probably join the NBA soon. As previously said, some players become great because of their ties to higher basketball levels. They may be born into this at times, but other times it may just be a relationship forged via an alma mater. Someone who understood what it takes to succeed at this specific institution and make it to the NBA would be introduced to Brandon. Someone who is one of no ceilings, a guy by the name of Jalen Williams. Podziemski has accomplished that thus far. He's scoring 18.7 points per game, 8.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and 2.1 steals so far. In addition, he shoots 79.5% from the charity stripe, 39.6% from the deep, and 46.2% from the floor. It's playing for Coach Sendek a little bit of everything. He's a free play coach, but he also holds me accountable as one of the leaders of the team. He does a great job of that. He allows me to coach my teammates when it's needed. He gets on me all of the time, which is good for me. I like criticism. I just like getting better. Anytime I can do that, it benefits my game in a lot of ways. When it comes to how he views himself as having NBA lottery potential, Podziemski knows that what qualities evaluators may find lacking in him. Some fans have dubbed Brandon Tyler Hero 2.0, but Brandon himself has admitted that despite not being the best athlete, he became a fan of players like CJ Meyer. styles because of his ability to generate separation. In addition, he likes a number of left-handed hoopers. Brandin feels that, as a player, he has a lot to give both on and off the court. While other prospects are more athletically gifted, I think I bring IQ, feel, and skill. Those three things, I feel, can put me on any team and make me successful right away. I can do a lot of little things. I may not be as athletically gifted as the others, but I can defend, I can rebound, I can shoot, and I can pass. And I can be a great teammate. I can fill all of those little things. I look at, right now, Dante DiVincenzo from the Golden State Warriors. There has been a lot of injuries, so he stepped up and he's starting. And he can do everything. He can guard, he can shoot, he can pass, he can play. When it comes to that stuff, I just try to do all the intangible things that can help me get on the floor. When asked what he believed will be his NBA-ready skill, shooting. Obviously, people have known about that for quite some time. But my game is so much more than that. If an NBA team asked me to be on the ball or off the ball, I could do either. If they want me to get rebounds, I can do that. If they want me to guard the best player, I can do that. I feel like I can just do a lot of everything. In terms of catch and shoot shot types, Synergy rates Podziemski on the 84th percentile. Very good. He is the 96th percentile, excellent, when left unprotected. He is in the 80th percentile, good, while lifting up a dribble jumper. Synergy places him in the 86th percentile, excellent, for the medium 17 feet to 3 points range, and the 77th percentile, very good, for the long 3 points range. All of it confirms what the movie depicts. He is an excellent shot. Podziemski, while not the most explosive or dynamic player, is skilled with the handle, can attack defenses with a variety of cadences, and knows just where to put his body to finish when scoring from inside the 3-point line. His free throw rate, 34.9, demonstrates his ability to elude the defense. These data suggest that Brandin won't be a main initiator in the next phase. It should be mentioned, though, that after seeing little action in the previous season, this is Podziemski's first genuine taste of substantial playing time. The creation representatives have also been rather positive. As a pick-and-roll ball handler, he performs in the average range or 51st percentile. According to Synergy, he is in the 35th percentile when passes are included. We have examined the skills that Brandin Podziemski possesses on both ends of the court. NBA clubs also frequently place a high priority on these areas of strength. Larger makers require more floor space. Podziemski possesses it. It's also necessary to rely on these floor spacing guards to find advantages when the defense drives them off the line. He is also capable of that. There's the floater. He has demonstrated that he has the basis to be able to handle some on-ball repetitions from the first moment a club needs him to. He can, however, still develop more in that area. What has brought Podziemski to this point is the workman's attitude that comes through every time you see, hear, or talk to him. It helped him get by before high school acceptance. It made it possible for him to endure while having little role at Illinois. That's why Santa Clara was so excited to grab their phone the moment they learned Brandin was seeking a new position. It is the motivation for his output in the manner that he has. For Brandin, basketball is just not something to do. That's how he will achieve greatness. That's it, guys. Keep supporting and subscribing to the channel.